Welcome to this session, this masterclass. Thank you for joining me. And before we get started, I just want to mention that this isn't just a presentation that you watch. This is interactive. This is a session that you're going to do. So I also, with the link to this, you also got a workbook. I've got mine here. I'm going to be going along with this with you. We're going to go through this together for this process. So if you can print that out, that's the best way to do this. If you cannot print it out, you can follow along in a notebook or a journal with the prompts, or you can also type it directly into the PDF if that works best for you. I always recommend writing because there's something to the physical act of writing that really brings this more to life. But whatever's easiest for you in the moment is perfectly fine. It's more about the process that we're going to be going through. So go ahead and grab your workbook and something to write with. And by the time that we're done here together, you're not just going to have heard some ideas. You're going to be holding in your hand here the first draft of a new chapter of your life. You're going to know where you are. You're going to be really clear on that, where you actually want to go and how to get there. That's what you're going to be leaving with. So for the moment, I just want to start here before we jump in. Okay. You know that moment, maybe you've probably seen the Matrix movie, right? You know that moment when Morpheus sits down with Neo and he offers him the two pills. You know, this is your choice here. You've got a red pill and a green pill, a blue red pill and a blue pill. That's this right here. That's this moment. Not because there's some secret world on the other side that, you know, you're going to drift off to, but because once you finish this session, you have a choice to either move forward or go back. And you're going to see that very clearly once we get deeper into this session. There's going to be something you won't be able to unsee after this if you're going through this honestly. And today is all about that. And it's about looking at that. It's about looking within. Okay. So every great story, we talked about the Matrix, every great story opens the same way. It's somebody living in an ordinary world. And, you know, from the outside, it looks fine. But at the same time, there's a sense that something's not quite right, that underneath everything, there's something more out there. There's some injustice being done. They haven't quite reached the level they want to get to. You name it. Most stories follow this framework. It's called the hero's journey. The Matrix is a powerful one that I'll refer to maybe another time in this session because that's one of my favorite ones. But if you've seen that movie, you open, Neo's fine. He's getting by. He's doing his thing. He's a computer hacker, and you know. But there's a call for something more. He's seeking something more, and he decides to follow that instinct. That's you, okay? You're in the exact right place. You're the hero of this story. So let's get started, and let's start writing your story. Let's get started on the first page here. So let's open up the workbook to page 1, and we're going to start with the most important question. I always start this with people when I'm doing coaching or maybe somebody's interested in my work, and it's something that so few people can actually answer clearly. And that is, what do you actually want? We're going to really define that here in this first part of the process. A lot of people, when I ask them that, they'll tell me what they don't want. They'll talk about the stress, the exhaustion, the dread of going back to work when they're coming back from a vacation, or the Monday morning blues, or that they want to get rid of that. And the mind works in mysterious ways. And when we're focused on what we don't want, we actually tend to create more of that. But when I ask you what you do want, another thing that people do is they go vague. I don't know. Less stress, you know, the negative, or I want to be happy. I want more money. It's very vague. Even sometimes there's some specificity about it. A new job. I want to move out of the country. But that's still very vague. You want a new job? What specific job are you looking for? Where is it at? How much money does it pay? What do you wear to work each day? These are the specifics that I'm talking about. If you can get clear on that, you're much more likely to align with that, attract that, and create that in your life. You can't move towards something that's blurry. If you're not clear on the destination, you're going to just spend your whole life chasing that proverbial carrot on the stick. And that's exhausting. You don't actually ever get anywhere. You're just running around, running around. So let's start here and let's get clear. Not goals. Goals are things that you acquire. We're going to start with this first page here, and you're going to write in your workbook or in your journal the feeling, the life. I want you to be honest. I want you to be specific here. What do you actually want here in the workbook? Don't write goals, write the feeling, the life. Be honest, be specific. What do you want in your health, your body, your energy, your mind? What do you want in your relationships, the people that you love, your friendships, your family, how present you are in those? What do you want in your work life, in purpose, what you're building and why? And how do you want to feel on an ordinary, average day? So we're going to take a few moments to do this. If when I come back from this, you need extra time, you can always press pause so you have a little bit more time. Fill this out. This is the first step, and this is super important. Even if you just leave with this, you're getting tremendous value here. Okay, so we're going to spend a few moments here. I'm going to put a timer. We're going to give ourselves about 5 minutes to write this. I'll put some music on so there's something to set the ambiance, and then we'll pick up from there. All right, so got 5 minutes on the timer. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, you got a few seconds left. You can go ahead and start wrapping up that round here, finishing up that last prompt. All right, and we're back. How was that exercise for you? Might be the first time you've done something like that. That's a powerful exercise. Now that you've got that workbook downloaded, you can come back to that anytime. I recommend to come back to that at least once a year. I myself do it about every 3 months because those answers are going to continue to evolve and change, and staying clear on what you want in life is the way to keep moving forward. So now that we've got that done, we're going to move on to the second part here. Now, when you take a look at what you wrote in that, the next natural question that arises is, why aren't you there yet? Why aren't you living that yet? And so that's what we're going to get clear on in this next section. If you don't know what stands in your way, how can you change it? So we want to take a little bit of time first to think about these a little deeper. Don't just write what's on the top of the head. You want to sit with this a little bit. The deeper issues here, the deeper things that are holding you back. It may be easy to blame this on some external circumstances. We can't change those external circumstances. So we want to start to look within. What's standing in your way of getting to where you want to go? Okay, so we're going to visit this. We're going to take just a few moments here to sit with this first. Breathe a little bit. Look at what you wrote here. And just let this sit with you. Why are you not living this yet? What's holding you back? What's really in your way? Now, we're going to go ahead and write that down on this page, part 2 here. What's getting in your way? And be honest with yourself. No time, no energy, stress, not present, whatever it may be, whatever's true to you, that's what you want to write down here, okay? All right, you're starting to get a list going there. Now, look at the list. And I want you to notice something. You're starting with this first part here. Go through each one and ask, is this really about my circumstances? Or does it come back to something underneath? Because what I see almost every time, no time, no energy, too stressed, too reactive, can't stay consistent, not present. These are some of the most common answers I get when I work with people. And this is the first thing I do when I do coaching with them. We sit down and we go through this process. They all look like separate problems. But if we can trace them down, we can trace them deeper, They meet at one similar root, and that is health and well-being have been put lower on the list. What's important to you has been put lower on your priorities list. These things that you say that you want, these priorities in your life, have taken a back seat to some of the other things that, when it all boils down to it, are not probably, are less important. Now, that's why I come back to, I talk about real success comes from the inside out. Now we're starting to get a feeling of that. Now, there's always something more urgent, right? There's always a notification. There's always something to respond to. There's always something on the horizon. And you've been spending time and energy chasing those things, thinking once you get them resolved, or once you get to that level, then these things that you wrote down in the first part are going to take a priority. But you see, how long have you been there? You're trying to go forward towards this life that you want without full energy, without the capacity that you need. It can't be done that way. You can't pour from an empty cup. Your system is running on empty. It's very difficult to just even keep going, let alone rise to the next level. That's the threshold that we're talking about here. The thing guarding the gate between you and what you want. It's not out there. It's that you're putting yourself last. You're waiting for somebody else to take care of you. Or you're waiting to get to a certain level to then take care of yourself. But trust me, if you start to take care of yourself, you have more energy. You have more time. You feel more joy. You feel more creative. Everything else blossoms from that. So if you take care of yourself first, things start to turn around. That's what I call inside out. So we want to write about that here. I want you to look at your list with that in mind. What do these things have in common? What's underneath them? And what are you realizing here in this moment? We're going to take just 40 seconds here to write something there. All right. So probably by now, you're likely wondering, okay, so what do I do? Right? And so I want to take a moment. Let's just put the workbook away for just a moment here. Now, I'm not speaking from above you. I've stood exactly where you're standing. That's why I understand this. For years, I had a long list of what I didn't want and no real idea of what I did. I talk about that in the beginning because I know that. So it's so familiar to me. I talked about wanting more. I was really clear on what I didn't want. And I was in a cycle. I put my own health and well-being last, just like we just talked about. So I speak from that place because I've been there. I understand that. There's no judgment here. What changed wasn't more success. I was thinking the same thing that I was talking about. I'll get there. Eventually, I'll take care of myself, or somebody else will take care of me. I was putting my mental and emotional health last. Then when I changed that, when I started to look inward, I started to put my mental and emotional health first, prioritizing it and building my life out from that place. things changed. Today, I live in balance. And balance is such a loaded term these days, but there's something really beautiful about it. You finding your own version of balance. I found my own version. My work is more creative. My mind is steadier. I'm present for the people that I love. I'm not waiting anymore. I'm chasing my dreams. I'm being creative. I'm enjoying my hobbies, and I'm prioritizing health. That's balance to me. I'm not saying my work comes last. My work is still a big priority in my life, but it's in balance. It was something first, other thing last. Now they all have their place. That's what living in balance is. And I'm not telling you that to impress you. I'm not here to impress you. I'm telling you because I want you to know the road exists and somebody has walked it. Every hero has guides. We talked about the hero's story in the beginning. You look at any hero's journey, any movie that you might love, from The Matrix to Star Wars to you name it, there comes along the way a guide. And I'm that. I'm a guide on the way. I'm not the hero. This is not about me. I just speak about my experience so that you know who's speaking to you. So now we want to take a little bit of time. We want to jump back into the workbook. Who inspires you? We want to start to look at that because that's a big part of this as well. Who are your idols? Who are you looking at as success to you? I didn't quite have that. I've ended up finding them along the way. But I want you to take some time now. Who inspires you? Who do you want in your corner as you continue this now with a new perspective? Mentors, friends or family, anybody who you look up to. I want you to list a few and one thing, just one thing that each one that stands out on each one of those for you. All right, so I'll give you a few minutes and let's do that. Right. So now we're going to move on to the next step in this session here, the next chapter, the next part of this. We're going to start to look at a plan, right? So I'm going to show you a path, right? And this is created specifically to be a little open because I'm going to put my path in a framework where you can see yourself walking that path without following me. I'm not about you. I'm not a guru. I'm not anything like that. This is not about following me exactly, but there's a framework here. There is a process. There is a journey. There's steps that you can take. And so I've broken this down into 3 simple steps. And I'm not just going to tell you what they are. Each one, you're going to write a little bit about what it would mean for you. I want you to see yourself within this, okay? So the first one that I want to talk about here, and we've kind of already touched upon this a little bit, is a mindset. Okay, you've got to have the right mindset if you want to get there. Something's got to change. And the first thing that I believe in changing is the mindset. This comes for a reason. What we're describing is real change. You've tried many things before to get to where you want to go, and you haven't been able to get there yet. Significant change is hard. There's a part in the middle where things get messy and it feels awkward, and you want to give up. You want to turn back. You want to go back to the comfort of the discomfort. Most people read that discomfort as proof they're failing. They quit right there. They go back. But in every hero's journey, and we've been talking about this along the way, the struggle isn't the obstacle. It is the transformation. It's the part where you become someone new. Seeing yourself as a hero keeps you walking through the middle, that messy middle, instead of turning back. The mindset has to come first because it's what carries the rest. So, in this first part, I want you to start to see yourself as a hero of your story now. What changes if you start to live like that, if you really embody that, and you feel like, I am the hero, I'm writing my own story? What changes? What happens when things get hard? I'm going to give you about 90 seconds here to write about that. All right, let's keep moving. Like I said, you can always pause this video if you want a little bit more time on any of the prompts. You can pause this so you can have a little bit more time. All right, next part. Mindset sets the direction. But here's what most people don't get into, right? There's a lot of people out there that talk about mindset, right? I'm sure you've come across it at some point. And it gets a bad rap because it's not everything, right? And so a lot of people start with the mindset and it starts to work, but just like everything else, it eventually stalls out. Mindset alone won't get you where you want to go. This is not magic. This is not the secret. Underneath every thought, mood, and reaction, there's a system, your nervous system. And for most high performers, people like yourself, it's been quietly bracing for years. It's become accustomed to this. And that's why people with great intentions, they still stall. You can't out willpower an untrained system. It's like flooring the gas pedal with the parking brake on. It just doesn't work. You're burning the oil, you're burning the engine. And most tools approach the nervous system trying to calm it down. They try and sell you the calm, right? Take this pill, do this meditation, go on this vacation, calm down. But then you're bouncing back and forth. You're borrowing a little piece of calm, but it's gone soon. But you can do something deeper. You can train it. You can raise the baseline. The same way training raises physical fitness, right? You go to the gym, you lift weights, or you go out and you start running. The more you do it, the better you get at it. The nervous system works the same way. So steadiness becomes who you are, not something that you reach for. Now, one quick thing I want to give you. A lot of you may have heard about the vagus nerve. This is the largest nerve in the body, the longest nerve. It runs from the brain down through to the rest of the body, through the heart, down to the gut, all the way down. Most people think that that brain is sending signals down. The brain is in control. Most of the signals that come from the vagus nerve are actually coming up to the brain. The body's in control. It's sending signals whether you're safe or there's a fear. And so then that's why your brain, no matter how much mindset training you do, this will override it at some point. If you rise to a certain level where things get uncomfortable, that nervous system is going to kick in. This doesn't feel safe, and your brain is going to throw out the window all that mindset training. So the mindset is the first step. The next step is to train the system underneath. That's how you rise and you stay risen. A calm, powerful presence that holds even when life doesn't cooperate, even when the path is not open and beautiful and unicorns and rainbows. It's the engine underneath the whole thing. The mindset sets the direction, the engine running. That's the nervous system. So what would change in your life if you could hold that calm, powerful presence, even when things get difficult? Even when you're challenged, even when you're uncomfortable, if your system underneath was trained and steady, what would change? I'll give you about 90 seconds to write about this. All right, so let's keep it moving here. So now step 3 in this. First step, mindset. Second step, train. The third step, I want you to imagine you set the right mindset, you set the right direction, you train the system, you start rising. Then what's next? We've got to maintain that. We've got to be able to stay there. We've got to prioritize taking care of ourselves. Balance, living in balance, caring for your body, eating in a way that steadies you, that doesn't work against you. If you keep setting the right mindset and training the system, but you're eating in a way that's having a negative effect on your mind and your body, you're fighting against yourself. You make real room for joy, for rest, for the people you love, because you know this feeds you. You know this supports you. You know this helps you. It's not a reward that you earn after the work. It's part of the work. It helps your work. And this is where the health and the happiness stop being a destination you think you're going to eventually get to, and they start being a ground that you stand on. They start being fuel for the drive instead of the cost of it. We talked about the mindset setting the direction, the nervous system being the engine. This is the fuel, the balance of life, enjoying the journey, stopping to smell the roses every once in a while, enjoying the view. Now I want you to connect this back to exercise one. Take the health, the relationships, the work, the feeling that you wrote that you wanted. Now I want you to picture an average day where this is reality for you now. You've gotten there. How do you maintain that? What does that life look like for you? This is the preview of what this life will look like. So picture a perfect average day. All those things that you said you wanted in the beginning, they're there. Right in the first person present tense as if you're already living it. That's an important part of this. Okay. I wake up. I eat for breakfast. Speak as if you're already there. You're in the moment. And that's why I'm going to give you a couple minutes. I'm going to give you about 3 minutes here. This exercise can take a lot longer. If you want more time, press pause. I'm going to give you some time here. Let's get into this one. This one is powerful. Go throughout the entire day. Go from morning all the way through the day. All right, beautiful. That one's a fun one. I enjoy doing that exercise, even just on its own. You know, when I'm feeling disconnected, when sometimes I still feel a little lost, I really like to sit with that one, envision where I'm going, envision the life, and feel that I'm living it right now. But now we're going to get to this is the one of the more difficult parts of this exercise here, this masterclass. This is a hard question. It's something to sit with. Don't rush it here, okay? I want you to take a moment to look back at what you wrote that was in your way, okay? So pull that back up now. Read through that a little bit. Now imagine nothing changes. You keep putting yourself last. You keep waiting for another day to start taking care of yourself, to prioritize the inside. Where are you a year from now or 5 years from now if you don't make a change? What does this cost you in your health, your relationships, the life that you said you wanted? Take some time here. Write honestly. This is the cost of staying on the same page, of not turning the page, of continuing down the path that you've been on. This one's important. Take some time. All right, beautiful. Moving on. One last one. Okay. This one might be the most important. The last one was probably the most difficult for you. Now, this one is very important. We started simple. We're working our way, progressing through this. Hopefully, this is becoming a little easier to get through. So far, you started to get clear on what you want. Picture the day when it's already true. Beautiful exercise that I love. But between here and there, it's the part that actually matters, the journey. So let's put it on you. Okay? We're going to put you in that path here. I want you to take a moment here and close your eyes. Picture a day just 3, maybe 6 months from now. This is not the finish line. This is the path. You've started. You're on the way. You have clarity and direction now. You're pushing through like never before. Something has already shifted. You're seeing it. You're feeling it. Feel steadier, more present, more your true self, whether times are good or times are difficult. And you know there's a feeling deep down. You're on your way to a better life. Take a moment to feel that right now, to visualize that. You're not quite to the finish line, but you're on your way. Take a few breaths here. One last inhale. One full exhale. Bring your eyes open. Now I want you to take a moment to write one last time here in your notebook, seeing yourself on the path. You're already on the way. What's changing in these first few months? You've decided we're right here in this point of decision. What's changing? Whatever way you go, you've decided to make some changes in your life. You've decided to change your mindset, to start training something. You're on your way. What does it feel like? What does slow and steady progress feel like? What keeps you going? And who are you becoming? Take a few moments, about 90 seconds here to write 3 to 6 months from now. Who are you becoming? How are you living? How are you feeling when you're starting to realize something's different? About 15 seconds left here. All right. Beautiful, beautiful. So let's take a moment before we close out here. Okay. Look at what you're holding here. The life you want, the way you, what's been getting in your way, your guides, the people that can help you along the way, the mindset, the training, the balance, the cost of staying on the path that you're already on, and vision of what's possible. That's not just notes. This right here, that's the first chapter of the story, or the next chapter in your own handwriting. I told you at the start, we talked about the matrix moment, the 2-pill moment. This is it right here. We're still in this. We've walked through this process to sort of outline the path. I can show you the door. I've been pointing at it this whole time, but I can't walk through it for you. No guide can. That part is yours. The choice is yours. And I want you to know, I believe you can walk it because I've walked it. People do every day. And you're no less capable than any of the clients I've worked with than me. So here's your real next step. Your mindset is set. You've got that point. That's the free piece I wanted to give you, because that to me was life changing and nobody handed that to me. It's right here in front of you, your path. Step 2, we talked about training the system, and I created something exactly for that. It's called Rise. It's a program specifically dedicated to training that nervous system underneath the mind, that nervous system that's running the show. It's 22 days, and it gives you all the information and the practices, and it walks you through it. Daily videos, journal prompts, every day of practice. It's a journey to train your system, but it's also a hero's journey. It's the most direct way to take what you just wrote and start actually living it. So if you're ready to begin, here's where you start. There's a link right underneath you, underneath this video, I should say, not underneath you, underneath this video. And one last thing, Rise is how most people begin. You do it on your own time. It's fully guided. Everything's there for you. But if you know that you do your best when somebody's standing by your side, there's somebody in your corner, there's somebody with you. I also offer coaching. I may have a couple spots open. I may have a spot open for you. Reach out. Okay. My contact info is also below. If you're interested in that, fill out that form below and we'll see if it's a fit. Wherever you start. Don't go back. You wrote what happens if you go back, if you don't make a change. I've presented the path. If you want to find your own way, that's fine as well. Just don't go back. I walked down that path, I cleared a path, and I presented it to you. I had to find it on my own. I cleared it on my own, and I made it easy and digestible for you. You can go out and find it on your own as well. But why do that? I've got the path right there. Keep that workbook. Print it out again. Go through it again. 6 months, in a year. It's your compass. It's a way to check if you're still actually moving forward towards what truly matters. And this is where I leave you for now. You've got the pills right here. This is that moment. Do you jump in and see how deep this goes? Or do you go back and forget about all of this? The choice is yours. I hope to see you on the other side. Thanks for taking this on. Bye for now.